put the link on the chat, Becoming a Credential Coach. It's a really good resource. It's a really good resource. And if you doubt, go ahead and see by yourself. Again, I'm not affiliated. I'm not one of those who wrote, I'm doing no work with Becoming Credential Coach, but it's a great resource. Just go and have a look. Can you find this on Amazon? I think so. But go on the website, especially if you can have access to this live, because in the live you can ask the question. In the live you have access to those assessors. I attended couple of the live session in 2024, and I could ask my question. And the beautiful thing is, if even before the end you didn't have, they collect the questions and they'll get back to you. So please, I definitely believe that if you want to get that MCC, using this resource, the book and the webinar, and I think they're also doing some kind of training now. They have many offers. Just go and check on the website. It increases your chances to know how the evaluators are thinking more again, to learn the behavior that really embody coaching at MCC level. It's a good thing. That's why I thought I would share. So coming back to our slides this week, it's Sherry Carter's call. This is the flyer for tomorrow, Becoming a Credential Coach. I think I'll type it in very quick to ensure I do not forget. So if you see it, go and give a try. Even if I make an error, I think maybe Google will correct it for us, but it's a great resource. And if you can tomorrow, join and learn and see by yourself. So that's it for a good resource today. Again, we'll continue with learning. I think I talked about recording so much. Let's continue, Judith. We already talked about that. Time is running. Core competency 2, which is the coach embodies a coaching mindset. What does it mean, embodying a coaching mindset? It means the coach is present, it's open, and it's curious. It means you stay in what I like to call the posture of a coach. You are not a therapist, you are not a consultant, you are not an advisor, you're being a coach. What does that mean, being a coach? You create a space for the client to find their own solution. And how do you do that? By being present, by being open, non-judgmental, by being curious. It's presence, open, curious. Sometimes when we read it, especially when you are in the student mode, what does this actually mean? Well, let's take the first thing, being present. Being present, you'll hear my attention, my energy, my eyes, my heart, my emotion. Everything is just connected to you. In practice, that's what we want you to do. You're really connected to the coachee. And sometimes when you are in the learning mode, it's like, what is this? What is she actually talking about? You're present, your attention, your full attention is to the other person. And why do we insist on presence? It's because sometimes we think we are present, but we are not. You think you're present, but maybe you're thinking, what question will I ask after this? Like ACC coaching. You think you're present, but you're thinking, what tool can I use? You're not being present. You're not here. While you're thinking about that tool, what framework? Oh, have I had this case before? You're missing some things that the coachee is saying. And it is why I think a couple weeks from now we will talk about presence. I struggle with that. I'm here, I'm present, I'm listening. When you're really present, it's like your full attention. You can pick what Claire calls the underbelly. Like the client is not telling you, but there are some emotion, there's some stickiness. It's because you're present, like you're connected. Sometimes I like to say it's like your antennas are connected to the client and everything emitting from the client. You can pick that emotions, intuition, feelings, body posture. And sometimes when this antenna connection is so well done, there's some kind of vibrating at the same level. It's so beautiful to see that, because they are connected and then something emerges, and yeah, the client was also thinking that, or they say something, you were also thinking, a word comes up, and next thing they are making a sentence with that word. It's like there's some kind of symbiosis. That happens only when all your attention is on the client. That's what it means to be present. And to be fully present like that, you need to let go everything else and trust that this client is resourceful. This client has everything they need. This client can figure out, and whatever will emerge from this time, we'll build with it. It takes a lot of letting go from the client. I think I shared with you maybe in week 1 or week 2 that sometimes in my early years, and even around 200 coaching session working towards PCC, that sometimes I'll be in a call 45 minutes or 30 minutes, and then 15 minutes like the client is talking, it remains just 10 minutes to the call, and it's like, no way I'm gonna let this call also go into a flop. Like, there's no value, there's no action, there's no solution identified, and it's like, Judith, step up and save the call. Am I a savior? No. By behaving or thinking or showing up as a savior, you're not being a coach. It's like you think you have the answer, you know more, you have more power. As a coach, 20 minutes, you just have 10 minutes remaining. It's the space for the client. Ask them, give it back to them. How are they feeling? What are they sensing? 20 minutes, 10 minutes remaining. What do they want to do with the 10? Give them the mic, make them shine. It's their time, it's their space to figure out and to decide how they want to move forward. It takes a lot of letting go, but when you try, that's how you bring the brilliance of the client. They take the power and they take back ownership, and you will be surprised at all the things that will emerge when you give the floor like that to the client. So that is coaching mindset. You're present, you're connected like that. If well, for me, the image of antenna resonated. So that's one thing. Another thing is open. Open means the coach is open. There's no assumption, there's no supposition that for us to get that solution. A lot of clients, well, I work a lot with corporate, I work a lot with people in technology. A solution, strategy, Judith, some kind of tips, some kind, people come for that, so solutions. And you need to let go the assumption this client came for a solution for his team or for his org or the strategy for 2025. It will go this way. No. And that's why my mentor Fran, she liked to say the coach is willing not to know. You're willing, even if it's a situation you've been in. If you think, I know, there's no learning, you're not open to whatever they may bring. And the open can get crazy to the point everything, extra cough, everything in the coaching moment can mean something. And getting curious, oh, I noticed you did it with your eye. I noticed this body movement. I noticed a drop of energy. What could that mean? The person may be talking about the team and the goal, but you notice something on their face, on their body, or their energy. Just getting curious if there's a link. There could be or there could not be. And that's why, as a coach, you're not attached to my way of thinking, what I think is the way to go. No, open. Is there something here? Yeah, could be this. Is there something? No. Okay, and then you move forward. So openness means you're not coming with some assumptions. You're open to whatever the client gives, to whatever the client offers. And that's why I think there's also this wonderful coach who likes to say he receives everything that the client brings. You're open. It's not like, oh no, I wanted. It's like you're bringing them to a certain place. Whatever the client offers, how do you respond to that? How do you help them make sense of what they bring to the conversation? That's open. Curious, yeah. And for you to help them, like with your question, curious questions, what could that mean? Any link, and you're not attached. What's coming up for you as you're sensing that, you just talked about this. What's coming up? How are you feeling? Curious question will help your client to think, and as they think, they bring up some things. They bring some interpretation. Another important thing I want to say here is in terms of MCC, let the meaning of things, the meaning of what is coming up, what is emerging, be made by the client. Sometimes as coaches, I see, I understand. It may, like, who asks you to be the one making meaning? In coaching, in good coaching, MCC level coaching, the person making the meaning is the client. It's the client. Your job, get curious and help them get curious about what is happening in them, with them, in their thinking. Time is rushing and we are just still at the kind of definition. So core competency 2, the coach embodies the coaching mindset by being present, open, and curious. Another very important thing that shows this behavior is the attitude of the coach, facilitating self-reflection and learning for the client. This one is so good, because when you start to work on that, it still gives the mic, as I like to say, to the client. It's not you making I see and understand. It could be meaning. No, one person doing the thinking, the reflection, the meaning is the client. So your question would, curious questions to help the client reflect. Well, yeah, new team, this huge reorganization. I mean, I have a very good friend of mine who just lost their job. Wow. I noticed some kind of change in tone when you said your friend lost a job. What's coming up for you when you think about that? Your question gets the client to think and to reflect what is happening with them, the meaning, the interpretation, the story they're building behind what happens. So your question should help the client do the self-reflection. With everything that has happened and with the progress in your coaching journey, with these wins that you just shared, what are you learning about you? Any learning so far? We have like 10 minutes remaining. Any learning? Give it back to them. It's not for you to do the meaning, to do the reflection, to do the interpretation. Let the client do that. And as you do that, you will see that they will come up with things you maybe you were not thinking about, and you will see how, especially if at the end you make them realize that, wow, see all the I like to call it golden nuggets. See all the beautiful things that you found. See all the jewels, all these wonderful things you came up with. Do you notice how brilliant, how resourceful you are? It all came from you. It's not Judith. And the more you do that, the more it builds the confidence in the coach. I got this. I can figure. It's not for this job that we become coaches, to help them figure out, So these are all elements of the coaching posture. Another element is like the coach stays in a place where they adapt to the emotions, the need, the energy. I did tell you that when the antennas are well connected, you pick some things. You pick there are things the client will not tell you. I'm sure you've been in a coaching session where the client says something, but you feel some other things that they are not telling you. It's because you're connected that you pick beyond what they think, all the words that they're giving. You're seeing something with your body. You're feeling some things with emotions. And as you stay in this coaching posture, you're not you can mention the thing that you're picking and ask them what's coming up for you. If it resonates, is it something you would want us to dig deeper? Yes, you go with them. No, it's not what is happening. No offense. We continue the journey and see whatever we will discover. This is the coaching mindset. It's not like I know more, the client is here, and I'll make sense of whatever they tell. The posture, someone talked about the power. At masterful level, it's not like you respect. I think we talked about this last week. You respect the unicity, the creativity, and the brilliance of the client. So there's no way you think you're here and they're here. No. Even if you have insight, intuition, you throw it there and it resonates, and it's like you are at the same level, you are connected, and you share, you help them make sense. You may offer something after asking permission, and some things can emerge. He has idea, you have ideas, and sometimes in the middle something cooks. I told you, when the antennas, when there's that presence and that connection, you pick things. At some point you may notice you are all vibrating at the same level, because something comes in their mind, they say a word, and you also had the next thing to complete that word, and it's a beautiful thing that is built. That's the power of coaching. And at masterful level, it's just like flawless, it's natural, it's beautiful to see. And that's why I say, if you can tomorrow, go to that session with Sherry Carter Scott. You will have the opportunity to witness that live. It's so good. It's so good. So how do you demonstrate that in the coaching session? I'm saying that I'm getting passionate about the topic and I'm not keeping my time well. In a coaching session, it's demonstrated, that posture is demonstrated with some key elements. One thing though that I want to precise is, unlike the other core competency where you have sub elements of the competency, the coaching mindset is seen overall in your posture throughout the coaching. So there's no like sub 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. If you remember at the worksheet I shared last week, there's no 2.1. Overall, the evaluator will listen. Did this person stay in the posture of a coach, in a coaching mindset, who is not a psychologist, who is not a teacher, who is not a trainer, who is not like a consultant or an advisor? Did they stay in the posture of a coach, creating space for that client to figure out, to navigate, to learn, to grow, to make sense? If yes, he will say, yeah, he has seen that. So some things that evidence. So when there will be time, I say present, and that's why there are some people who will say MCC level coaching. core thing is like the agreement, the presence, the presence, the presence. So deep listening, really that posture. I don't want to even just talk too much to talk. If you have that 1 or 2 recordings that we say you should start to do last week, just go and listen to it. Can you say how much connected are you to the client? How much space? How much responsive are you? Are you always staying in the coaching posture? If we are honest, I want to admit that personally, when I coach, especially my people in technology, in situations I have been, it takes a lot of self-awareness. Okay, Judith, you're a coach. Now you're not consulting for this high-tech company, you are a coach. And even sometimes clients will say, Judith, I pick you because you are from technology background. I pick you because I saw on your LinkedIn that you've done SAFe framework, you've done this, you are a Cisco certified. But it's my responsibility to bring it back to coaching. And it may sound something, even if they say something like that, yeah, I may have an idea on how it works. But how is that helping you? It brings it back to them. It's not that you don't want to be helpful, but you can also give it back to them so that they see they are able, and start to trust themselves. You don't want to become some kind of doctor. A lot of people come to coaching for that, and that's where the initial call, the first, when you discuss, you can talk about the differences between coaching and consulting. Many more than 30 to 50% of people who come to coaching on day one, especially those who have not experienced the power of coaching before, they hope that, okay, I pick someone from my background because they may give recommendations, and they will say it, oh well, Judith, I thought I picked you because since you've been, you know the milieu, you know how it is with women in leadership, you know, blah blah blah, so you hope give me recommendations. And that's where you can talk about the power of coaching and give them the envy to try. You can tell them how you believe in them to being resourceful. You have what it takes, and you're much brilliant than you think. Can you want to give it a try? Just dare to, because I believe you're resourceful. You have it in you. How about we walk a space where you go find your answer, who will be more appropriate to your reality, to your context. I don't have a preview too. And sometimes they will say yes, and as they start to see the good things that emerge in your time together, they'll love it. They'll love it. But it's our responsibilities as coach to make that difference. So reflective time, I think I'll just dive directly in. What are you doing now to stay in that posture? Now that we are not in the normal time, I don't know at what point you'll be watching this. When I started connecting, I didn't have access to chat, so I feel, okay, shall we do the chat, yes or no? But in case, whenever you'll be watching this, how do you react? It's just a question to reflect. I would have loved to get your answer live. When a client shares something challenging in the midst of the session, maybe you've had those clients who share something that is going on. It could be painful, it could be very difficult. How do you react to that? Do you quickly offer something to get away from emotions because emotions are embarrassing? What do you do? We said coaching mindset You're present, you're there with the client, empathy. And then you're open. What could be generating the emotions? Do you want to explore more? So emotions are normal, emotions are okay, and I like to say emotions could be the door to the core, to what is going on inside, to go deeper. Yeah, I deeply believe that emotions. So for me, I love it when I have clients who are comfortable talking about emotions. And even if your client is not comfortable, it's your job as a coach, masterful coach, to challenge them. What emotion? What's going on? What's causing that emotion? What do you want to do with this? What link between that emotion and who you want to be and your value? It's such a good thing when emotions come into the mix. Then you can go into who the person is. And getting there in general is like you bring a mirror for the person to look who they are in the situation, who they want to be, and they can choose. And from this place of identity in general, the action item, the solution, the to do, the what, it's easy to decide when the core, what is inside, is solid. So I choose that example simply to bring up the fact that emotions are okay. Let space for emotion. Be comfortable talking about emotion. And it starts with you. That's why I was saying the beautiful thing with this MCC coaching is it will change you. It will change you. Because there's a lot of insights, a lot of learning, a lot of things that will pass through emotions. If you are not comfortable to be with your own emotions, how would you create a space for the client to be with their emotions? You understand why I say a lot of people come for MCC credential, but they stay for the transformation. Just give it a try. I don't know where you are, how far with the recording, how much feedback you're giving, but please, if you have not started with your recording, record yourself, listen, and what do you see? What do you notice? Who are you being in those conversations? And who you're hearing in those conversations? Is this the coach you want to be? Is this the masterful coach you want to be? In the program that I do, the mentor coaching wagon, to help people, you stop actually to reflect on, ideally, let's imagine you are that masterful coach, having that transformational impact on your client. Who are you being? What quality do you embody? When you reflect on those qualities and then you listen to the recording, am I being that person? When I talk too much, am I being that masterful coach? When I just want, but there's this. It's a lot about you, but this space is for the client. What matters to them, like your ideas, do they even matter? No. It's the client. So listen to your recording and just take note of what comes up. And I guess also you may have intuition. Some people have a very developed intuition. When you listen to your recording, who are you being? Is that the masterful coach you want to be? And if there are some things you feel no, what would you rather be? Use those qualities, and that's how you will transform. Well, Julia will let you go. I'll let you off the hook, but it is how it has been for me. And a lot of people, I think, that take the time to really listen to the recording, they see and they choose the type of coach they want to be. So reflective questions were how do you manage to stay present and open in your coaching session? How do you even know that? I would have loved someone ask me this question at the beginning of my journey, because like this thing, presence, core competency 5, for me, I thought I was present. But when you get into the detail, are you present? Like one mentor will just shoot something. This question comes, what link between what was said? Or they just call up an emotion right before you offered your question. That will make you see you were not connected. You were somewhere else thinking about something else. And then you start to understand the antenna thing I was talking about. When you are present, you're here and now in this moment with the client. Sometimes you have a question that came to your mind like 4 or 5 minutes ago, but the client is no more there. Because you stayed thinking about your question, the client has moved forward and you are not present. These are evidence. So what is your practice? What do you do to stay present in your conversation, to stay curious, to stay open? I really offer these questions as reflection for you to observe how you are being today. Coaching mindset is the coach is present, open, curious. The coach facilitates the reflection. To facilitate, he himself should engage in self-reflection. Well, I talk a lot about self-reflection, about journaling, about reflective activity. Because you do that, it's kind of easier for you in the coaching sessions to help the client reflect on what is going on with them. But if you yourself don't do self-reflection, what's your strategy? How do you manage to bring the client to self-reflect? The coach also stays in that posture by being confident, adapting to the emotion, to the style. There's a lot of this behavior that resemble what ICF uses to describe presence. That's why some will say all those things are interrelated, and that's why there's another coach a very masterful, good mentor, who will say there are some core competency that they are sort of linked. When you are good with presence, there's great chance that you do a lot of good active listening. So you will hit presence, active listening, and maybe evoking awareness in one, just focusing to being present and creating that space. You achieve all of that, there's great chance that you're hitting a lot. And when this is evidence kind of at the beginning of the coaching, and you keep that posture, that presence, openness, and curious with simple questions, it's easy when the evaluator listens. And this is mastery. This is mastery. Present, open, and curious. So time is passing. It will be soon time for us to close. These are the questions I offer. Before going, I will insist again on the importance of practice, guys. Practice. I'm behaving like an African mother who is kind of desperate with a child, but there's no child here. Maybe it's also the tiredness of the day. I'm grateful to have been able to do this video this week, and thank you to all of you who said go, 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 Molashpa, go, Judith. Thank you for your encouragement. So we need to practice, because we want 2 recordings in the next 8 weeks. When the project manager in me is activated, I think 3 weeks, if we want at least 2 good in a natural way. It's not like you have a checklist. When you go checklist mentality, the presence thing you will feel is someone who has been there, who is talking about that. So in order for you to get that recording, it takes practice, guys. Some people have it naturally, but when you come from a very intellectual scholar, well, I need my checklist. You are not with the client. So because sometimes I say project, checklist, Excel, I have to demonstrate A, B, C. Okay, 3 has 4 sub this one. When you're thinking about your core competency, something is happening on the face of your client. You didn't pick that. They said something in a certain tone. You didn't pick that because you're thinking about your list of core competencies. So create your recording, start to listen. Are you embodying? Is there evidence of that open, curious, of that presence, of that coaching posture? What are you seeing? Hey guys, and get on it. If you see that you're being a consultant, it's not behaving as if there's no advising or whatever. Acknowledging it and seeing will allow you to start to work on how to correct it. And for you to acknowledge and see and start to change things, you need to start to listen. So please practice. I will keep the same recommendation, the same challenge, the same offer like last week. Identify key people you can practice with. Identify sometimes some conversations that you can record, and book time on your agenda to listen to your recording. I will insist your recording. Yes. Because I know a lot of people, well, where can I get, or there's this person, there's this place where I can get and buy. It's good to listen what good coaching looks like, but it's more helping to listen to what your coaching looks like. You will never submit someone else's recording as yours, and even if you did, you'll be breaking ethical, which is core competency number 1. Why would you submit someone else's? Doesn't even make sense. So if you will be assessed on your coaching, create your recording, listen to your recording. What do you see? And if there's anything here, if you got questions, if there are the process of assessing your recording is still kind of nebulous, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out. I said it last time, before each live, I would look at the comments from the previous weeks. And if there's a question, if there's an ask, if there's, in general, I'll talk about that before bringing the new topics. So if there's something that is grayish, that is not clear, don't forget to ask, reach out. We want 2025 to be your year to get that MCC credential. We are here. Let us know the best way we can help you. And it is in the same vein that I shared a couple minutes ago, this program is good. It's really good. And I told you, the more I will hear about schools, about programs, about initiatives, I will come and share with you. Again, I'm not affiliated with BCC. I just feel like their initiative is a very good one, and it could help you ace your obtention of MCC credential. You will hear those who might be the one assessing your recording, get to know their thinking, get to know their approach, get to know what they're looking for. So if you can be there. Last week there was a demo. Tomorrow, Tuesday, there will be a demo. Maybe another one the next week. Like, as you go on their website, I think the comment is still pinned there in the comment section. Oh wow, now I'm not seeing the chat. Anyways, I put it in the comment section. So if you can go there, have a look, and if this is something that resonates with you, why not become a weekly participant? I love the fact that when I did this in 2024, I had access to those and I asked questions. When they'll say things I feel like, it's not very clear, I asked the question. And it was so good to hear Judith Abril, the person facilitating the session, ask my question or promise we'll get back for the other questions. It's good. I think. Humbly what Judith thinks. So just go, and if it's not helping, just throw it to the bin and continue your life. Next week, women, there are some people who think like this is make or break. If you don't make a good agreement, just forget about that MCC credential. What is a creating agreement? What does a good agreement look like? What are there some key elements that make the agreement? And how do you embody that in your conversation? This is what we'll be talking about next week. And there will be some more goodies, some more tricks, some little tips. Not only to help you demonstrate that, but also to help identify in any recording, in any conversation, like if the elements of the agreements were there. And a little story I want to tell here to really reinforce the importance of the agreement is there are actually some evaluators that if the agreement is not good, they'll stop listening to the recording. We are shooting for a recording of around 30 minutes. So if they listen to say around 15-20 and there's no agreement, they'll just stop it here. They'll not listen to the whole thing because it's essential for them. I've been in meetings where they talk and it's like, how can you be a masterful coach and you talk for 20 minutes but you cannot tell this is exactly what we're going for, how we will know, and the way to get there. So agreement is really essentials, guys. I hope you can join next time, same next week, same time, not today, not 10 p.m. as it is here for me, but the normal hours, 10 EST for French and 12 EST for English. Until then, if there's any question, you can leave them in the comment, and if there's anything that we can do to make this simpler, to help ace your readiness for MCC credential, especially creating your recording, evaluating your recording, assessing your recording, don't hesitate. I'm here and it will be a pleasure. Until next time, take care, be good, and looking forward to our next call in this series. Bye.